Greetings, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome to the 2026 Candidates Showcase for District 222. I am your host, Past District Director Anita Ramprasad, and it is my pleasure to serve as the facilitator for this year's showcase. Today, you will have the opportunity to hear from the candidates as they respond to questions tailored to their respective district leadership roles. The candidate biographies are available at the link provided, where you can learn more about each individual. For those attending a candidate showcase for the very first time, each candidate will be asked a series of questions. Each candidate will have a maximum of 6 minutes to respond. The green timing light will appear at 4 minutes. The yellow timing light will appear at 5 minutes, and the red timing light will appear at 6 minutes, at which point the microphone will be muted. There is no grace period. All candidates will be asked the same questions for each category. Candidates may choose to begin with an opening statement, conclude with a closing statement, or proceed directly to answering questions. Questions will be rotated, but as I said, the candidates that are running for the same position will be asked the same questions. We will start with the candidates for District Director, followed by the candidate for Program Quality Director, then the candidates for Club Growth Director, and conclude with the candidates for Division Director. Wishing you an enjoyable showcase experience. For the office of District Director, Toastmaster Rhonda Lynch Watts. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Rhonda. Would you like to make an opening statement or would you like to proceed with questions?
I would like to make my opening statement, please.
Please go ahead.
District Council members of District 222, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests of District 222. They say that leadership is not about being in charge, but about taking care of those in your charge. Today, I sit and yet take a stand before you as Rhonda Lynch Watts, and I am honored to serve and accept the nomination to do such as your first ever district director. Through this organization, I've honed my leadership skills, fostered meaningful connections, and discovered the transformative power of communication. I've served in various leadership roles from club level to division director, and each step has deepened my commitment to this mission. We are at a historic crossroads, aren't we? As District 222 carves its own path, we don't just need a manager, we need a visionary architect. My commitment to you is built on 3 pillars: unity, vitality, and value. Unity to bridge our diverse clubs into a powerhouse of collaboration. Vitality to breathe new energy into our recruitment and retention strategies. Value to ensure that every member, from the nervous newcomer to the seasoned distinguished Toastmaster, finds the return on investment they deserve for their time and talent. I'm not just asking for your vote, I am asking for your partnership. Let us set the gold standard for what this new district can achieve. Together, we will make District 222 the beacon of excellence in the Toastmasters world. My name is Rhonda Lynch Watts, and I am ready to lead us into the new era. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now proceed with your questions. Toastmaster Rhonda, what relevant experience do you bring in leading diverse organizations or teams that prepares you to serve as district director? What relevant experience do you bring in leading diverse organizations or teams that prepares you to serve as district director?
Thank you for that question. I've served in my job as a accreditation officer in an organization that included not just 5 major hospitals and 16 health centers, but different departments, medical records, clinical departments, our clinics, kitchen, pharmacy, and I've learned how to work with persons of different departments that have to work together to make the customer, the patient feel welcome. In the Caribbean, District 81, we already have a connection of 28 countries that included 6 different languages. And working over the years in different aspects of district leadership, I've learned that we are often stronger together, and oftentimes our differences can be used as well as our similarities to make us strong. So that's some of the experience I would have had working with different groups.
What is your strategic vision for the new district, and what are your top priorities for your term?
Thank you. As would have been said in my opening statement, I understand that unity, vitality, and value is important so that we can appreciate, coming from different regions, how we work together, how we can really hone in on our similarities, how we can hone in our strengths, how we can use what we have to really understand the value to each member, and as Toastmasters, how we can improve our own skills to help not just for the organization, but our communities. Working that and having a focus on that, understanding that we may be called third world, but we are first class in all that we do, and really having the importance of leadership and communication be championed through our regions is important. And so I will help focus on that from every member, adding to the club, the area, division, and the district.
How will you lead and align the district trio to ensure cohesive and effective execution over a culturally and geographically diverse district?
I have a strategy that I call my IPF format. It speaks to the intention, the plan, and the follow through. Understanding what we need as a district based on collaboration and feedback from our members. We really need to be careful in planning our intention, knowing exactly what we want to do and why we want to do it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rhonda. For the office of District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Carlos Millones. Distinguished Toastmaster Carlos, would you like to make an opening statement or to proceed with the questions?
I would like to make an opening statement.
Please proceed.
Good day, fellow members of the District Executive Council. My name is Carlos Millones, Distinguished Toastmaster, and I ask for your vote for District Director. I know that I live in this district, I care about it, and I know that this can be great. As you, many of you, I see great opportunities to grow in communication, members' experience, and expected results. I come for service, leadership, and results. Don't get me wrong. I think we can do great here. Our campaign is based on unified district culture, empowered members, strong high-performing clubs, sustainable growth, and technology and innovation. We deserve a district that is safe, responsive, and thriving. Experience will never be enough, but 10 years I've been working on service along my 35 years of experience. I've been a member of the Transition Committee. I was a co-chair in the Provisional District for South and Central America. I've also been a Program Quality Director, a member in TRIO, and then as reward for service in leadership, I was a Toastmaster of the Year in 2023. At a club level, all roles I play, and at district level, I've been an area and division director twice. So on this elections day, ladies and gentlemen, you have a choice for a new approach to dedicated action and service. My name is Carlos Millones, Distinguished Toastmaster, and ask for your vote to make this wonderful experience and district the best district it can be.
DTM Carlos, what relevant experience do you bring in leading diverse organizations or teams that prepares you to serve as district director?
Thank you for the wonderful question. There are many experiences, but I want to focus on one related to Toastmasters and Rotary. In year 2022, our president arrived to Latin America. Unexpectedly, we had to build a team to prepare all the ceremony, not only for Peru, but also for all Latin American leaders. And I was honored to work with diverse teams. It was amazing, but I tell you, it's not about the person, it's about the teams, because everybody, regardless, they bring a gift to the table. And my experience was extraordinary because at the end of this wonderful service, we reached to a consensus that when we work together, we achieve more and we were stronger. So I would say that the experience that marked my leadership position and capacity was this conjunction, this convention, this joint venture with Rotary.
What is your strategic vision for the new district, and what are your top priorities for your term?
I have experience in this, and I would say that first is members' experience, members' engagement, but also we need to work towards the mission of the district. What we do, we build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Yet, there is much more to do because for members' experience, for leadership, we need to go over the initial step of members to just come to the club and enjoy and probably challenge their public speaking skills. I would say that members leave because they do not enjoy the other four core competencies. When you come to a club, you need to develop also interpersonal relationships. You need to work on your leadership, strategic leadership skills, and then management, and all along self-confidence. That's on the side of the club. And now, how to promote this? Well, we need to offer members incredible opportunities and meaningful ones. A new district provides those opportunities. And I think that with everybody working, we have a big challenge. And the challenge is how to channel all this wonderful potential in only one direction, I would say, following the mission of the district. So I think that rewarding people for the work they do, reward, recognize, celebrate their successes and their learning experience. I think that this is essential in any organization. Then, of course, we need to promote new leaders. How to promote new leaders? Very not simple, because simple is never easy, but just to identify, and that means to have the capacity to implement strategies like rewarding at club level. So identifying those members that are always challenging. We need to learn how to listen more strategically. We have a motto: for better listening, for better thinking, for better speaking. And we should let people use all their creativity and imagination. Not everything they do in a club is in the book. But if we promote this confidence, if we work on supporting high performing clubs, I think that the future is guaranteed. People stay in their clubs because they feel accepted, they feel that they are growing, and they are investing their time properly.
Thank you, Toastmaster Carlos. For the Office of Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Natalie Lobato DeWitt, Distinguished Toastmaster Natalie, would you like to make an opening statement or proceed with the questions?
Good afternoon. I would like to make an opening statement, please.
Please proceed.
Fellow Toastmasters of District 222, Toastmaster has given each of us a place to grow, to lead, and to discover strengths we didn't even know we had. My journey in this organization has taught me that leadership is not about titles, but it's about service, collaboration, and lifting others so they can shine. District 222, I am ready to serve as your first PQD because I believe our district is full of potential waiting to be unlocked. Together, we can build stronger clubs, create richer learning experiences, and support every member in achieving their goals. I am committed to listening, to working alongside you, and to ensuring that every voice is empowered. I'm asking for your support, not for me, but for the future we can build together. On May 9th, vote for Natalie Lobato, Distinguished Toastmaster, as your Program Quality Director. Let's make this district thrive together, juntos, juntos. Back to you, Madam Chair.
What relevant leadership and training experience do you bring that prepares you to serve as Program Quality Director?
I am a servant leader. I am a finance manager I have my own company. So I think that leadership has been one of my greatest strengths because I have helped others to get to where they want to get. I have also the experience of being on club officers of different positions and being also in the leadership of the district. I think I have the quality and the experience to be of service in this position.
What strategies will you implement to increase member engagement and educational progression?
I think when members feel that they are important and that you are reaching out for them to connect with them and for them to achieve their goals, you can get the engagement of the members. The strategy that I will use is one, I will be guiding them with my team to be a good member as the pathways to engage in the meeting roles also, and also to guide them to be the better version of themselves.
How will you ensure consistency and excellence in training quality across multiple countries within a new district?
I think that is one of our opportunities that we have because now we are at the new district. So I will engage the experienced members to be of the one of the facilitators of our trainings, but also I will have a connection with the members, with the clubs to know their needs because we have to give trainings based on the needs of the clubs. It's not about giving trainings all over, but you have to give the members the basic needs that they are joining Toastmaster for.
How will you support clubs that are struggling to meet quality and performance standards?
I would like to have on our website, so collaboration with the PRM on the website to have like what you call that? Like trainings material on the website so that they will be easy for them to go to the website and have those training materials. As we have different languages that we speak in the district, I would like to have the different languages in the training also.
How will you collaborate with the club growth director to balance growth with quality?
I think that one of the things that we have to share together is the guidance of the club mentors, because I think mentorship is very important, not only for the club's officers, but also for each member. So my collaboration with the club growth director would be in his or her capacity of guiding club mentors, but I will be also guiding the members' mentor. So every member should have a mentor to guide them to achieve the quality.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Natalie. ATM Edwin, would you like to make an opening statement or proceed with the questions?
Proceed with the question. Thank you.
What relevant experience do you bring in sales, marketing, or business development that prepares you to serve as club growth director?
I bring over 15 plus years experience in marketing. My specialization is stakeholder engagement. And while it may not be directly marketing, I had the opportunity to engage stakeholders from various communities. And because of this, I believe that I am skilled. I often say I can be placed in any environment, and I have the ability to work with and engage stakeholders, meeting them where they are at and understanding what their needs are and working together to meet those needs.
What will be your strategic approach to achieving sustainable membership growth across the new district?
My strategic approach is one, understanding, and I have already started that process, who our existing members of the newly minted District 222 are. Of course, we come from varying cultures, but this is nothing new to us coming from District 81 because we also had a similar experience. And while our faces may differ, our skin tones, our hair texture, and languages may differ, at the core of who we are in this organization for the very same thing. And the strategy is ensuring that we understand and appreciate what we have in common, and knowing that collectively we can work towards making District 222 an excellent district.
How will you identify, evaluate, and prioritize opportunities for new club development?
Can you repeat the question one more time for me, please?
How will you identify, evaluate, and prioritize opportunities for new club development?
First, I will identify by engaging with our members, ensuring that I have a true understanding of where they are at and what are their expectations of us as the trio, as well as the new district. The good thing about it is that we are new, so we have the opportunity to form and create what we want to see as a district and ensure that these ideas that are identified are always double checked with our membership. And based on that, we'll prioritize what is needed along with what are goals and objectives to ensure that they are met. So continuous check-in and engagement will ensure that we reach where we want to be as a district.
What targeted initiatives will you implement to improve member retention across clubs?
Targeted initiative is us telling our story. I think as Toastmasters, we sometimes tell our stories in closed spaces. So this new district gives us the opportunity to, one, learn about others, not only sharing cultures, but sharing how Toastmasters has benefited us within our varying spaces. And I look forward to learning from those in South America, how they would have benefited, and looking for new ideas in terms of what we can implement in the Caribbean.
How will you align and mobilize division and area directors to support growth objectives?
Once they have been given those titles of area directors and district and division and area leaders, I hope and I will help them to understand how growing our membership is key to the sustainability of our organization, even in terms of our networking. So it's more than just receiving a point. In order for us to continue to grow as an organization, it's important for us to widen our borders because everyone adds to the development of the district.
How will you monitor and respond to underperformance?
Underperformance, there is normally a root issue. So we need to engage with members, understand what their perspectives are, and work collaboratively with them. One of the key things is ensuring that we have club coaches and club leaders who are willing to save clubs and work with clubs and meet them where they are at.
How will you position Toastmasters to attract corporate partnerships and new markets?
Where we are right now, globally, the economy is not in its best place. However, I believe Toastmasters provides us with the answers that we need. So the idea is to reach out to corporate entities and letting them understand and appreciate what Toastmasters membership has to offer, how this will benefit their organization and the growth of their staff and expand their business.
What innovative strategies would you introduce to accelerate growth in this district?
Innovative strategy would be to work with each district to showcase who they are. And sorry, not each district, to work with each territory to showcase who they are. I think once we are genuine and we show our true selves and the benefits of Toastmasters, people are attracted to energy. And once we sell that energy, the persons will be ready to be on board with us.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Edwin. For the Office of Club Growth Director, distinguished Toastmaster Vinish Etwaro. Distinguished Toastmaster Vinish, would you like to make an opening statement or proceed with questions?
Madam Chair, I would like to proceed with the question, and at the end, I will do a closing statement.
Noted. What relevant experience do you bring in sales, marketing, or business development that prepares you to serve as Club Growth Director?
Madam Chair, members of District 222, I will bring a blend of business relationship, finance, marketing, and practically Toastmasters experience. In my work, I have focused on understanding what people actually need, communicating value clearly, and building partnership that last, not just quick wins. In Toastmasters, I have seen firsthand that growth is not just about adding members. It's about building strong, resilient clubs where members feel engaged and want to stay. I have been involved in outreach initiative, open house, and members engagement effort, which helps me to understand both attraction and retention. I also tend to look at data like guest conversion and engagement, so decision is intentionally. Overall, everything I have done with aligns with my focus, building strong, resilient clubs, engaging every member, and drive sustainable, constant growth. These are the relevant experience I will bring to District 222. Madam Chair, next question, please.
What will be your strategic approach to achieving sustainable membership growth across a new district?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My strategic approach is anchored in three priorities: building strong clubs first, engaging every member, and driving sustainable growth. First, I would analyze the district data to understand where we are today, identifying strong clubs, at-risk clubs, and growth opportunity. This allows for target strategic action rather than one-size-fits-all approach. Secondly, I would strengthen the guest to members journey. Sustainable growth comes from converting interest into meaningful membership, and that depends on delivering a constant, high-quality experience from guests' first visit onwards. Many clubs receive guests, but not all are converted. Small improvement can make a big difference. Thirdly, I would focus on retention as a growth strategy. Engage and retain members are the foundation of strong, resilient clubs. And strong clubs naturally attract new members. Finally, I will align the division and the area leaders around clear, measurable goals, ensuring that growth is consistent and intentional across the district. Next question, please.
How will you identify, evaluate, and prioritize opportunities for new club development?
Could you repeat the question, please?
How will you identify, evaluate, and prioritize opportunities for new club development?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would take a target approach to new club, focusing on sustainability from the start. First, I would look for gaps, geographic, demographic, and professional area or groups where we are not reaching yet. Then I would evaluate whether we have the right condition, like committed leaders and ongoing members' potential. I will prioritize the opportunity where engagement is built in, like corporate environment, strong community network, because that leads to more resilient clubs. For me, success is not just opening clubs. It's building clubs that stay strong and continue to grow. Madam Chair, may I move to my closing statement?
Please proceed.
Madam Chair, thank you for this opportunity. And to my fellow Toastmasters across District 222, my journey in Toastmasters and in my professional career has always been about one thing: delivering results through people. I have built clubs, torn around struggling ones, and lead teams to President Distinguished Success, not by chance, but through action, collaboration, and commitment. I have seen firsthand that when you give people the opportunity, they rise. And when clubs are supportive, they strive. That's exactly what I will bring as your club growth director. A clear, proven approach, strong clubs, engaged members, and sustainable growth. I am not just bringing vision, I am bringing experience, result, and the drive to serve every member and every club across District 222. Because when we grow.
Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Ganesh. For the office of Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Delon Fraser. Distinguished Toastmaster Delon, would you like to make an opening statement or to proceed with the questions?
Grateful, please, Madam Moderator. I would prefer to proceed with the questions.
Noted. What relevant experience do you bring in sales, marketing, or business development that prepares you to serve as Club Growth Director?
Toastmaster Moderator, thank you. I bring strategic leadership systems, thinking, and execution with discipline. I've served in many capacities as club growth for leadership. I've served in many capacities in my personal sphere, and I've seen the level of skills and leadership abilities that I may have when it comes to strategic thinking, strategic marketing, and even utilizing the tools that are available for those purposes.
What will be your strategic approach to achieving sustainable membership growth across a new district?
Grateful. So I believe in always understanding what is the premise under which the club is operating under. So I will utilize Toastmasters International tools in, of course, understanding the analysis of that club, understand what makes the club struggle or if it's growing, understand what works well for the members. And in so doing, by utilizing this data, I will be able to prepare what is called a plan for each one of those clubs, because every club will be different and it would require a different strategic approach in its sustainability. So we're looking at bringing lively and energetic Toastmaster meeting themes and so forth. Activities that will keep the members engaged based on the reason why they actually joined Toastmasters. See, once they have a reason to stay, then ultimately your goal has been achieved.
How will you identify, evaluate, and prioritize opportunities for new club development?
Always staying key to what Toastmasters' international function and goal is. I always believe that in order for us to grow and understand how Toastmasters operate, is always looking to see what exactly is needed for the thriving of clubs in our district. And so by doing this, we understand what tools are available, we understand what drives membership, and we will understand how clubs can grow and mature into successful clubs as we want it to be. So I will always keep my ears on the ground, looking for new and innovative means in helping these clubs achieve success in keeping with Toastmasters International rules, regulations, and goals.
What targeted initiatives will you implement to improve member retention across clubs?
Thank you very much for that question. I believe after understanding, using the analysis, using the data that has been captured from the Toastmasters International website, as well as the district performance dashboard, we will be able to understand what drives these clubs. So like I mentioned, every single club will be unique. So it would require a unique and holistic approach. Notwithstanding, I will be looking at what works best in various districts and then make it a best fit based on the analysis of those clubs within the district so that we can continue to maintain this energy and this successful club meetings, club teams, club activities.
How will you align and mobilize division and area directors to support growth objectives?
First of all, Toastmaster, Madam Moderator, it's always about team building and teamwork. I believe once I'm able to get all those area directors involved in the whole process as to the direction that we want this district to go to, I am certain that we will be able to get their buy-in. I'm certain we'll be able to get them motivated and driven by using, of course, rewards, by having regular meetings, and of course, performance checks every now and then, at least twice per week.
How will you monitor and respond to underperformance?
Brilliant. Toastmaster, Madam Moderator, I do realize I'm seeing the greed. And in the interest of time, may I respectfully request permission to incorporate my response in my closing statement, where I
Please
will
proceed.
address this question more comprehensively.
Please proceed.
Grateful. Members of district, over the years, I've had the privilege of serving at every level of the Toastmasters International journey, from club officer to area director to pathways ambassador and to district quality team members. I have seen the work and I have seen what needs to be improved. And most importantly, I have seen what it takes the club to truly thrive. But today is not about the past. It's about the future. It's about us being driven by one purpose to motivate each other in diverse, more multilingual, and filled with untapped potential. As a club growth director, I will ensure that the system that strengthens existing clubs, I will ensure that they're more proactive, not reactive measures, and the system that ensures no member, no club, no matter the language, no matter the location, is left behind. I offer you not just experience, but execution, not just vision, but structure. If elected to club growth director, I will focus on three priorities: strengthening every club we already have, expanding strategically into new communities and corporate and otherwise, and building sustainable.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Delon. For the office of Club Growth Director, Toastmaster Alvin Morton. Toastmaster Alvin, would you like to make an opening statement or to proceed to the questions?
I would like to proceed to the questions, Madam Past District Director.
Noted. What relevant experience do you bring in sales, marketing, or business development that prepares you to serve as Club Growth Director?
Thank you very much for that question. I have actually served as commercial manager for 3 brands of coatings from over the course of about 4 or 5 years. I have also served as a marketing representative in the export arena. That too was for about 5 years. And during the period 2018 to 2023, as the senior manager for business services at a service enterprise, I was also responsible for client-facing activities as well as operations.
What will be your strategic approach to achieving sustainable membership growth across a new district?
The strategic approach I would want to implement with the assistance of a team would be anything that involves corporate and institutional partnerships, as well as high impact membership building campaigns, and a team that is going to be focused on club growth specifically.
How will you identify, evaluate, and prioritize opportunities for new club development?
The identification will come from looking at the various segments, especially things like the Rotary TI partnership, which I think is still very much in its infancy. In Division F, I think we're perhaps one of the few that successfully leveraged that approach to be able to form a Toastmasters club. I think it is Outer Wheel is its name, that was comprised of Rotarians and Toastmasters. As most people may or may not know, Dr. Ralph Smedley was in fact a Rotarian before he began his journey that 100 plus years later has now enabled all of us to benefit from Toastmasters.
What targeted initiatives will you implement to improve member retentions across clubs?
Some of the targeted initiatives would include perhaps things like taking the table topic segment out and creating something along the lines of an experience first pop-up Toastmasters session, which would allow persons to experience the value immediately. And that then enables them to see what this is about and why many of us, myself included, have remained Toastmasters for many years, 10 years, 15 years, and counting. I think we also need to recognize that with the advent of modern tools such as funnels and so on, we can use that same approach to create something like a digital first lead funnel that enables us to keep track of hot leads that we can turn into clubs at the macro level, and even the conversion of members, because I think many clubs do not fail at attracting members. The challenge is converting them to members, converting guests, that is, to members.
How will you align and mobilize division and area directors to support growth objectives?
Having been a past area director under your esteemed leadership as district director, having been a division director myself, I think engagement of these area directors or their delegates, be it assistant club growth directors or so, would be the way to do that through formation of WhatsApp groups, as well as having persons from the club growth team lead these groups so that we can get their ideas and we can determine what support they require to leverage the opportunities that exist.
How will you monitor and respond to underperformance?
We monitor and respond to underperformance by acknowledging it, by recognizing it, and then by having a conversation around it and treating it as with a measure of curiosity, thereby allowing some level of defensiveness to be reduced and also to invite opportunities, to invite conversations as to how they can be course corrected. Because I don't think anybody likes to be found in a situation of underperformance.
How will you position Toastmasters to attract corporate partnerships and new markets?
I think the way to do that is to posit Toastmasters as a low-cost internal training solution. Many of these entities have budgets that they would typically align and spend, and this.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Alvin. For the office of Club Growth Director, Toastmaster Nora Muika. Toastmaster Nora, would you like to make an opening statement or proceed with the questions?
I want to make the statement.
Please proceed.
This coming year, we embark in a new beginning, full of opportunities to share our passion and bring the Toastmaster experience to more people. Even though it is a new chapter, it is not unfamiliar. Starting today, partners in the Caribbean, Central and South America are joining forces, skills, and experience to build a vibrant and successful district. I am running for Club Growth Director because Toastmasters have shown me the power of connection and community. Throughout my journey, I have worked with clubs, leaders, and members who remind me every day why this mission is important. In that work, I have shown proven results, determined consistency, and undeniable excellence. Not as slogans, but as lived experience. What I bring to this role is simple: human sensitivity, strategic vision, and organizational capacity. My focus is on helping clubs grow with intention, supporting members so they can stay engaged, and expanding Toastmasters' mission across all our territories. My motto is simple but yet powerful. Leadership that leads the way. Leadership that inspires and accompanies. Leadership that opens paths so others can move forward. Choose me as your next Club Growth Director, and you will have someone who listens, collaborates, and delivers. Someone who committed to people, culture, and shared purpose. Let's build a strong and joyful district, combining the Caribbean flavor with Latino sparkles. Anita?
What relevant experience do you bring in sales, marketing, or business development that prepares you to serve as Club Growth Director?
What I bring to the table is my experience as accountant, as human resources assistant manager, and also as psychology. I have the perfect combination about people person oriented and then the administrative part. Not only that, I also have 8 years in Toastmasters, and I have passed through all the roles in the clubs, from president to sergeant of arms. Also, I work at the district as area director and division director. And in that term, for 3 years, I was working as a standard committee for CGD, PQD, and DD since 2021 to 2024. I not only have the experience, the secular experience of my professional experience, I also know Toastmasters from the club to the district. And I want to have the opportunity to give all my knowledge, my passion, and all that I have learned through Toastmasters to all the people in the District 222.
What will be your strategic approach to achieving sustainable membership growth across a new district?
Can you repeat the question, please?
What will be your strategic approach to achieving sustainable membership growth across a new district?
One of the things that the great opportunities we have in the District 222 is that we have a canvas where we can work and start doing great things. One of the things I think the District 222 for the start is they need is first a gap analysis. We need to learn where they are, where the clubs are, and what they need to succeed. Then we can create with the combination and the collaboration of PQD some series of training, not only for the members as the club officers training, but also for club coaches, club mentors, and club sponsors, utilizing not only our experience as leaders, but also creating a liaison with accredited speakers, past presidents, international presidents, and also DTMs. All of them are qualified and capable to help us build a strong and vibrant District 222. For the next year, we need to learn how the District 222, what they need, what we can get to them, and to motivate and excite them to see the results we are experiencing and we are expecting for 2027.
How will you identify, evaluate, and prioritize opportunities for new club development?
One of the things that I was doing
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nora. For the office of Division Director, Division A, Toastmaster Leticia Vasquez Montalvo. Toastmaster Leticia, would you like to make an opening statement or proceed to the questions?
I can make an open statement.
Please proceed.
Hi, fellow Toastmaster. I am happy to be here, trying to be a division director. I am from Puerto Rico. I was born in Mayagüez and I lived my childhood in Sabana Grande. Right now I am in Arroyo. I am applying to continue serving to Toastmasters, to the clubs that are in needed. And right now I am working with like 3 clubs. Tertulia Toastmaster, that is the club of Collins Aerospace. Also working with San Juan Toastmaster, that is a club that is in the north area of Puerto Rico, and with Momentum Toastmaster. I am serving to them in Tertulia Toastmaster. I am working with them like a sergeant at arms. On San Juan Toastmaster, I am working with the president and all the club, like the VP of Education. Right now, working, mentoring the other club members, helping them with to achieve their goals in the club, and participating in the roles in Momentum Toastmaster. So I am ready to go to the questions.
What previous leadership experiences do you believe have best prepared you to drive performance across multiple areas?
Leadership performance, for example, in Tertulia Toastmaster, I work with them like the president of the club. There I was in front of the club, organizing meetings, organizing events, talking with the managers, and also with the club members, and helping them to achieve their goals in the club. Also right now, like VP of Education, I am having a great happiness because I am helping them like a mentorship. I feel like I am a mentor, helping the others with their DCP and making their projects, entering to the pathways. We are going, line by line. If they have any doubts, or for example, if they want to practice their speeches, I am with them to give them support, and also making their agenda to assure that the club meeting is a great meeting and is well balanced between, the speeches, table topics, and all the meeting.
What, in your view, are the most critical performance gaps within your division? And how will you address these within the first quarter?
Okay. Major gaps in our division. I have seen that in different clubs, I have seen that we have an opportunity with the membership. We have opportunities in the different clubs with the membership. We have seen that for example, the membership goes low, but then we have made open houses, we have used the technology, and we have made different activities, and the membership grows. For example, in Tertulia, our membership grows, and also in San Juan Toastmaster. We continue working to allow that the members continue in the club.
How will you balance accountability and support when managing your team of area directors?
Okay. Accountability, I understand that is having all the goals achieved, and the support is being with them. I trust that giving them support, we will achieve the accountability. If we don't support the cause, you will don't have any goal achieved. So you will not have, a good accountability to have.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Leticia. For the Office of Division Director, Division B, Toastmaster Marilyn Pasial Elodia. Toastmaster Marilyn, would you like to make an opening statement or proceed with the questions?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Yes, I want to make an opening statement.
Please proceed.
Madam Chair, thank you for the opportunity. Fellow Toastmasters, my name is Marilyn Pasial Elodia, and I am a member of Toastmasters International since 2014. I joined Toastmasters to work on my speaking skills. But a few days later, I was asked to be an assistant of an area director, and then the next year, another area director asked me to be their assistant. Since then, I love leadership. During that period, my journey as an area director, I saw a lot of clubs struggling to recruit members and struggling to have members to fill in the role of executive committee. I, as a division director, would like to come with some solution to prevent that a few members carry the weight. My first vision that I would like to work on is to work on advanced leadership. Advanced leadership that will help other members in their clubs to become also advanced leaders. Those leaders can share their experiences and ideas to other members so that they can grow, but also give them the opportunity to work in committees and guide them. My other pillar that I want to work on is a strategic marketing plan. A marketing plan where Toastmaster will be visible. I think it is important for Toastmaster to be visible. In our community, there are a lot of Toastmasters that don't know, a lot of citizens that don't know about Toastmasters. And I think there is space in Toastmasters for everyone. Another pillar that I want to work on is membership growth. Important to have our clubs grow so that the base will be solid and the members can enjoy more their membership in Toastmasters. So my vision is clear. I want to work on 3 pillars: advanced leadership, strategical marketing plan, and membership recruitment. All this I want to achieve through our area directors. We can achieve this also only with your trust. Therefore, I ask you to vote for vision, to vote for growth, and to vote for impact. Madam Chair, back to you. You are muted.
What previous leadership experiences do you believe have best prepared you to drive performance across multiple areas?
Leadership skills that has prepared me is team building and also strategic planning. I have worked in various committees, not only in Toastmasters, but also in the community, and with team building, working together, cooperate together, communicate with each other, we have achieved a lot. Another skill that is also strategic planning, to plan ahead with a vision, what you want to achieve, what your aim is, and it must be clear for the team members where you are heading. So those are the 2 skills that I would like to bring to the district. Madam Chair?
What, in your view, are the most critical performance gaps within your division? And how will you address these within the first quarter?
I think the most critical point that is now in my division is visibility. I think Toastmasters must be more visible in our community, and we can do this via different forms. It is social media, but also public activities where citizens can be aware what Toastmasters stands for. I think also we must continue, because we have already started, continue to have more like t-shirts that other.
Thank you, Toastmaster Marilyn. Of Division Director, Division C, Toastmaster Kevin Bertrand. Toastmaster Kevin, would you like to make an opening statement or proceed with the questions?
Proceed with the questions.
What previous leadership experiences do you believe have best prepared you to drive performance across multiple areas?
Thank you for the question. I have served in different capacity in Toastmasters, but outside of Toastmasters, I have served in my credit union, where I have at the board level. This experience had really taught me how to navigate in Toastmasters, not just as a leader, but using different styles in Toastmasters, where I use persuasion and collaborative efforts in my leadership style.
What, in your view, are the most critical performance gaps within your division, and how will you address these within the first quarter?
The critical gaps within my division is where some clubs are struggling. And what I intend to do to address that is to really do an analysis on the various clubs through the area director, where we will meet with these clubs and really have a plan to get these clubs back on track.
How will you balance accountability and support when managing your team of area directors?
In Toastmasters, we all take a promise. We promise to do certain things, and I hold steadfast to that responsibility. Regards to being accountable, I will hold not my own self, but my team also accountable in the various tasks we execute, and how I intend to lead is by not just telling persons what to do, but by how we break up various tasks into what I say priority in terms of what get done and what is ongoing.
How would you address situations of underperformance or conflict within the division's leadership team?
Conflict is always something you have to deal with within leadership. No two minds share the same ideas, there are always differences. I will address this by listening critically to what persons are contributing and really try to have a sense of understanding in terms of how we can actually meet with decision making. My approach is really to collaborate with persons, not so much find out what is the difference we not agreeing on, and really try to have an open mind, a point of view, where if we disagree, we could still support the bigger picture or the bigger vision.
Describe what your approach would be for revitalizing underperforming clubs within your division.
Interesting ask that question. To revitalize clubs, I believe that engagement. We join Toastmasters to belong, to connect, to feel a sense of appreciation. I would certainly try to connect people through socializing. When people have a sense of socializing, they want to belong to something. And we would really try to engage them to understand why they really join Toastmasters and connect them to the things that we could do together to achieve the greater good of the clubs. Thank you.
How will you ensure consistent delivery of quality and performance across your division?
I will ensure quality consistently through tracking performance. There is something we use in Toastmasters called the Club Success Plan. That is not only to say it is a plan, but it has strategies and tactics that we could use, that when we map it out, we review it on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, to see where we are.
What systems or practices will you implement to strengthen communication, collaboration, and engagement across your division?
Constant dialogue, reaching out to persons, especially my ADs, even if it's WhatsApp or by email, but staying in touch, staying connected to deal with the issue in real time. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kevin.
My time up there, or could I make a closing statement?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am running for Division Director for Division C.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kevin. For the office of Division Director, Division C, Toastmaster Christine Ford. Toastmaster Christine, would you like to make an opening statement or proceed with the questions?
I would like to make an opening statement.
Please proceed.
Hello, my name is Christine Ford, DTM, and I am thankful for the opportunity to be interviewed for the position of Division Director.
What previous leadership experiences do you believe have best prepared you to drive performance across multiple areas?
My leadership experience has been threefold. I currently work with an organization for the past 8 years where my leadership experience has now taken me to a level of managing a group of persons in terms of their work performance. My leadership experience as well has stemmed my 10 to 12 years as a member of Toastmasters, where I would have been in the positions of area director at that time, president, vice president education, as well as other leadership roles on the executive. And as a mother, definitely we understand that there's a leadership role in the home as well.
What, in your view, are the most critical performance gaps within your division, and how will you address these within the first quarter?
As one of the critical gaps that I am seeing currently in my division is member retention. A cursory look at the number of clubs and members that would have submitted not only their first dues payment or their second dues payment, it is at a level where some members have not renewed. So that gap needs to be looked at seriously to find out exactly what the issue is. And as the division director, to engage the area directors and the leaders of the clubs to ensure that meaningful conversations are had to ensure that member retention is at a level that is acceptable at the end of my tenure.
How will you balance accountability and support when managing your team of area directors?
That's a good question. Accountability is dependent on the communication strategies, the collaborative effort that you would have started as the division director. We are all human, so things can happen, but accountability on my part would be where persons are directed as to clear communication and what is required of them. If that is not happening, it's important that we revisit what would have been created at the beginning of my tenure and see where we can make adjustments to ensure that accountability continues to be of paramount importance for not only myself, but for those that I am leading.
How would you address situations of underperformance or conflict within the division's leadership team?
Conflict is a necessary part of human existence. For me as division director, I would certainly get to understand what the issue is, engage the disputing parties, and then ensure that we come to some collaborative agreement on how we would be moving forward. Because persons thrive where there is no conflict and they feel valued.
Describe what your approach would be for revitalizing underperforming clubs within your division.
Again, underperforming clubs, from my experience, would be clubs where member retention is at an all-time low, persons are not renewing their dues, it's difficult for persons to actually get an agenda prepared to have a meeting. Again, that would require conversations with not only the executive, but members themselves to find out what the reason is and see how best we can put structures in place to ensure that they are moving forward in a positive way and these situations are no longer issues that would be determined as challenges.
How will you ensure consistent delivery of quality and performance across your division?
Regular meetings, consistent meetings, action plans, revisiting the action plans and ensuring that if they are not functioning or giving the results that are expected of maybe the area directors or the club presidents, it's just a matter of revisiting those plans and seeing where they can be adjusted to ensure that the end results are what we want to achieve.
What systems or practices will you implement to strengthen communication, collaboration, and engagement across your division?
Definitely, at the beginning of my term, I would lay down the communication guidelines. Communication guidelines would be either email, text, WhatsApp.
Thank you, Toastmaster Christine. For the Office of Division Director, Division D, Toastmaster Marlisa Bishop. Toastmaster Marlisa, would you like to make an opening statement or proceed with the questions?
Good afternoon, DTM Anita. I would like to have a closing statement.
Noted. What previous leadership experiences do you believe have best prepared you to drive performance across multiple areas?
Thank you for the question. In the year 2024, 2025, I applied for the role of area director. And during that tenure, I was able to lead my team and my clubs to achieving the President's Distinguished Area. I feel that because I was able to incorporate leadership styles and using the framework given to me by the seasoned Toastmasters, I was able to guide my team. And I believe that utilizing that same strategy is a successful one.
What, in your view, are the most critical performance gaps within your division? And how will you address these within the first quarter?
Thank you. I have noticed that one of the greater things we have lacking would be membership engagement. And with membership engagement, it has a lot to do with personal lives. So I believe if we are able to reach our members down to a place where we are able to see what affects them and their contribution and participation in their Toastmasters journey, we will be able to bridge that gap, thereby offering a service to them that they are able to learn from.
How will you balance accountability and support when managing your team of area directors?
When creating a program, it is good to start early. Once you've made your plan ahead of time, knowing what your goals are going to be, then you can set out to informing your area directors. These are our plans. These are our guidelines in which we want to work towards. And in doing so, when they are aware, we are able to achieve better. I believe that when we work together, we can most definitely achieve more. So working in that mindset, creating your plan early, sharing your goals, and having persons respond to the timelines that you have set out to them, then you're able to keep not just yourself, but your team accountable for the things that we have set out to work towards.
How would you address situations of underperformance or conflict within the division's leadership team?
For underperformance, it would require having direct conversations with persons who are in that category. When you're able to do so, you know specifically what the problems are that are preventing persons from meeting their targets. You are then able to offer insights that they may be able to use to better their responses, better their performance, and even give support wherever it is necessary. As it relates to conflict, it's pretty much similar. You need to understand every point of view before you come to a suggestion, because when you do so, you can make informed decisions. You can offer informed solutions that persons are able to follow, that gives them and everyone the best outcome.
Describe what your approach would be for revitalizing underperforming clubs within your division.
Thank you. Particularly, there is one club that I have been a part of, and that is the University of Ghana Toastmasters Club. And I've seen where they are enthusiastic, however, they are underperforming for the fact that they do not have the foundation necessary. And that is because it's a university club. Because it's a university club, persons leave the university. They do not have that support that they need. I feel like if we are able to maintain foundation in places where it is necessary, you're able to give people the resources that they require so that they can perform at their best ability. We can only perform once we are given the resources and we are willing to work towards that. I've seen how the University of Guyana has transformed year after year from having to build their leadership to always maintaining the good standing. So I think that having the necessary resources for underperforming club and offering that support is one way to ensure that we minimize that.
How will you ensure consistent delivery of quality and performance across your division?
I will ensure that we set our guidelines, follow them to a T, so that persons are able to stay accountable and we maintain the things that we need to maintain, thereby ensuring success.
What systems or practices will you implement to strengthen communication, collaboration, and engagement across your division?
I think that communication across division goes a lot with collaboration, particularly for weaker clubs. Once you're able to collaborate with your team, for instance, you take a weaker club with a stronger club, they can learn from each other to see what their weaknesses and their strengths are, using those to capitalize and grow.
Thank you, Toastmaster Marlisa. Would you like to make your closing statement? Thank you, Toastmaster Marlisa. For the office of Division Director, Division D, Toastmaster Carla Isaacs. Toastmaster Carla, would you like to make an opening statement or proceed to the questions?
Proceed to the questions, please.
What previous leadership experiences do you believe have best prepared you to drive performance across multiple areas?
Could you repeat the question, please?
What previous leadership experiences do you believe have best prepared you to drive performance across multiple areas?
Thank you for the question. In my tenure as area director, this role has prepared me tremendously, not only in my professional life, but also in Toastmasters, to steer those relationships across, to see growth and development throughout my journey as a Toastmaster and in my professional life.
What, in your view, are the most critical performance gaps within your division, and how will you address these in the first quarter?
I believe one of the most critical role is to ensure, as a division director, to ensure that you support clubs, to ensure that timely reports are submitted, and to support the club as best as needed.
How will you balance accountability and support when managing your team of area directors?
Thank you for that question. Accountability goes a long way, and I believe in documenting everything in order for the area directors to be successful. Secondly, to have brief meetings with them to let them know what their roles are and to hold each other accountable for their reports and submitting their reports on time.
How will you address situations of underperformance or conflict within the division's leadership team?
Thank you for that question. I believe in conflict resolution, meaning that we fix that matter immediately instead of allowing it to escalate. We identify what the issue is, work with both Toastmaster and the clubs to ensure that we have a collaborative effort and to make sure that whatever we do, that the matter is resolved without any conflict or anyone leaving the organization.
Describe what your approach would be for revitalizing underperforming clubs within your division.
Thank you for that question. One of the first things that I would do is to have club coaches to work along with those clubs that are underperforming. Instead of allowing the club to go down, appoint coaches, because I recently will have worked with a Toastmasters club, Speak, Spark, and Spirit, where their numbers were going down. And as a club coach, I've seen the increase in numbers, and the club right now is at charter strength. So I believe networking in collaboration, ensuring that every club gets the best support. Can I go to my closing remarks, please?
Yes, of course. Please proceed.
Fellow Toastmasters, as your division director, there's some key important roles that I would like to identify. First, to ensure that every club work collaboratively with each other. Secondly, my vision is to ensure that every club succeed through networking and team collaboration. I have a passion for growth and development. And in my journey as a Toastmaster, as area director, as club coach, I have seen growth not only in the Toastmasters organization, but in my own professional life. So I'm going to work as seriously to ensure that each member grow and accomplish their goals in this Toastmasters year. Thank you.
Would you like to continue with the questions?
Didn't I answer 3 questions already?
There are a list of questions, Toastmaster Carla.
Okay, I'll take another question, please.
What systems or practices will you implement to strengthen communication, collaboration, and engagement across your division?
Thank you for that question. The first thing I would do is to set up a WhatsApp group with the program quality director, the club growth director, as well as area directors to ensure that communication is channeled across not only in the WhatsApp section, but to call those persons via telephone to ensure that no communication or no information is being missed.
How will you ensure consistent delivery of quality and performance across your division?
Could you repeat the question, please?
How will you ensure consistent delivery of quality and performance across your division?
Thank you for that question. I would ensure that each member succeed in their endeavor to complete their paths or whatever role that they're taking part in. Firstly, by spotlighting those persons or highlighting those persons' accomplishment so that others can see the growth, what these individuals would have completed or accomplished in their journey as a Toastmaster. It is important that we celebrate every milestone of a Toastmaster so that they can feel recognized, that they can feel wanted and appreciated. So that is what I would work towards.
Thank you, Toastmaster Carla. Fellow Toastmasters, thank you for listening to this year's District Candidate Showcase for District 222. Please take the time to review the candidate biographies and reflect on what you have heard today. As a member of the District Council, you have the responsibility to vote for the most qualified candidates at the upcoming District Council meeting. The future success of our district rests in your hands. The District Council meeting will be held on Saturday, May 9th from 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. By now, you should have received the Zoom registration link, and if you've not already gotten it, please contact D222 credentials at gmail.com. I'll repeat, D222 credentials at gmail.com. Thank you for attending the showcase and do enjoy the rest of your day.